Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the massive updates rolling out with Flutter 3.44 and Dart 3.12. And I've got to say, these updates are literally reshaping how developers build apps right now. We're looking at a release built around one incredibly powerful theme, making Flutter available everywhere, every day, built by everyone and for everyone. Okay, so here's our roadmap to help us mentally organize this pretty dense technical release. We'll quickly hit the state of Flutter, look at Dart and the developer experience, dive into generative UI and AI, touch on expanding platforms, discuss decoupling the framework, and wrap up with Flutter in the wild. Section 1, the state of Flutter. Let's just kick things off by looking at some massive ecosystem growth, because the macro impact of this community is, well, it's frankly staggering. Take a look at this, 1,700. That is the number of active contributors to the Flutter project this year alone. In just the last year, those folks drove over 1,800 changes straight into the Flutter repository. That is a truly massive volume of code review and sheer community-driven momentum. And this next number brilliantly illustrates the real-world demand, 1.3 billion pubdev package downloads. And get this, that's in just the last 30 days. Fun fact, the team originally tried to pull the download data for the entire trailing 12 months, but the number was so ridiculously astronomical, they actually had to settle for a 30-day snapshot just to make it readable for us. But honestly, most impressively, we now have 1.5 million developers building with Flutter every single month. That adoption rate is absolutely wild and has officially cemented Flutter as the second most popular mobile SDK on both the App Store and Google Play Store. All right, moving right along to Section 2, Dart and Developer Experience. Let's see how Dart 3.12 actually empowers those 1.5 million developers with a seriously unparalleled workflow. We are talking about some massive quality of life updates here. You've got cleaner syntax with primary constructors, and absolutely blazing fast 10 millisecond cold starts using full stack Dart on Firebase. But check this out. The real game changer is auto hot reload for AI coding agents. That means when your AI agent writes code, your app instantly updates in real time right on your screen. Just incredible. Which perfectly tees up Section 3, Generative UI and AI, where we are really looking at the absolute future of user interaction. Now, with new agent-assisted workflows taking over basically everywhere, we really have to ask ourselves, why is everyone in the Flutter community suddenly obsessed with GenUI? Well, I think we can all agree we are completely and utterly exhausted by giant walls of markdown text or watching a chatbot slowly type out responses. Right? So the crucial point is that we are finally moving past those tedious chatbots. By using tools like Genkit Dart and the Flutter Gemma package, we can actually compose interactive apps on the fly. We're stepping into this whole new paradigm where the AI doesn't just spit out text. It collaborates with the client on the composition and state of a real functional user interface. This contrast is striking. The old, tedious text-in, text-out method is out. Compare that to Google DeepMind's visual layout experiment. The DeepMind team actually built their Gemini app prototype using Flutter. Why? Because they wanted to definitively prove that users vastly prefer visually rich AI-composed widgets. They handed the Gemini model a predefined catalog of widgets. So when a user prompted the AI, it didn't write an essay, it picked exactly the right widgets from that catalog, like a nice grid or a custom layout, and composed a dynamic, beautiful UI instantly. DeepMind absolutely loved Flutter for this exact reason. Its strict, opinionated framework basically keeps the AI from hallucinating wild, broken designs. Their big takeaways here? Constrain the AI to get reliable results. Always use an AI critic loop behind the scenes to catch errors before the user ever sees them, and rely heavily on high-level templates so everything feels consistent and loads up instantly. Okay, but where do these next-gen experiences actually run? Let's check out Section 4, Expanding the Platforms, and dig into the latest cross-platform updates. Flutter 3.44 is dropping major updates across the board. Android gets much smoother hybrid composition. iOS finally shifts to Swift Package Manager by default. Goodbye, CocoaPods. The web gets a massive 25 to 40% performance boost for way smoother animations. And desktop finally gets true multi-window support thanks to a partnership with Canonical. Now, to support all of this wild cross-platform expansion, we arrive at Section 5, Decoupling the Framework. This is a really fundamental shift in the architecture itself. You see, developers were feeling pretty bogged down by these three distinct pain points, which honestly made creating bespoke design systems super frustrating. Before this update, the design libraries were tightly coupled to the core framework itself. That meant if you just wanted a simple low-level bug fix, you were suddenly forced to absorb massive breaking design changes, like that painful jump from Material 2 to Material 3. It also meant new UI features were chained to the slow quarterly release cycle, and developers trying to build custom interfaces constantly felt like they were fighting the framework's very strong design opinions. The brilliant solution? Decoupling. By stripping Material and Cupertino right out of the core SDK, these design systems are moving into their very own standalone packages. This is a huge win all around. It means Material and Cupertino can iterate rapidly on their own independent schedules. And meanwhile, the core Flutter framework gets significantly lighter, stronger, and way more design agnostic, giving you perfect widget primitives for building a totally custom design system. Finally, let's look at Section 6, Flutter in the Wild, and explore what happens when you take this lighter, decoupled framework and put it into real-world production. I absolutely love this brilliant double entendre from Toyota's engineering team, highlighting how Flutter's custom embedder gave them total control over their in-car experience. Previously, Toyota really struggled with bespoke platforms and third-party suppliers, where they'd spec out a design and literally not see it for a year or two. So they used Flutter to finally bridge that gap between design and development. They even started their proofs of concept using simple Raspberry Pis and store-bought screens, finding that Dart was incredibly easy for their teams to learn and implement super quickly. Because Flutter is entirely hardware agnostic, Toyota was able to build the 2026 RAV4 infotainment system to feel as fluid and responsive as your smartphone, rather than some clunky old kiosk. And they're rolling this out globally, but it doesn't stop at cars. LG is utilizing Flutter to conquer the big screen, launching a brand new WebOS SDK that empowers developers to easily target WebOS devices using familiar tools like stateful hot reload and RiverPod. The ecosystem is incredibly scalable right now. The tools are cleanly decoupled, and the platforms you can deploy to are seemingly endless. From generative AI components composed on the fly to desktop multi-window applications, all the way to the dashboard of a Toyota RAV4, the technology is fully there. This just leaves us with one final, very exciting question for you and your 1.5 million peers. What will you build next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time as we continue to break down the tools shaping our digital world.